What's up, guys? I'm Evan Wick,
And I'm Patrick Spray.
and this is episode 14 of Washed Up.
What's up?
You didn't even want to do it?
Nah, dude, we established this last time. I think if I don't say it, it just sounds better, right? It comes out clean. It's not us two talking over each other. When
We
we
did.
get
We
back
established
together
no
and we're
such
in
thing.
person, we'll say it at the same time.
We have a guest, so let's
Yes.
not fight. We
Yeah,
have a
this isn't
guest,
bad.
Trent Hillger. It's a
What's up?
mess. It's a mess. It's just a mess with Patrick. But Trent
Well,
Hillger,
listen, this
good to
is all
have you
your
on.
fault, and everyone knows it.
Here we go. Here we go. See, he's an instigating Trent.
All
He's
right, all
instigating
right,
me all the time like this.
all right. We can reset. I
But
appreciate you guys having me on here. What's up, guys? There we go. I'll
great
start
to
it from
have you
there.
on. Yeah, see, Trent's the guy to have on. It's because he does stuff like that. But
Well,
good
hey,
to have
this
you on,
is the
especially.
first recurring guest. First recurring guest we
Yep.
have.
I was the first
Yeah,
guest too, right? I think I was the first
You were
guest.
the first guest.
Yes. Look at that. Just a bunch of
I think
firsts.
you're the first and the third. We've had Trent, Ben Askren, and now Trent again. But
Oh,
you're so hot, we
We've
gotta
really
have you on again.
diversified.
Hot as in, you just are coming off Final X. You're a good looking guy, but no,
I,
it's
well,
not like
I
that.
was I was just wondering what you're talking about there. I appreciate it though.
Yeah, yeah. But so it's good tournament at final at World Team Trials, man. That was sweet.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. Wrestled well.
I'll see you in Final X. I'll see you in
Yeah, I
Final
know.
X.
I'm
That'll be sweet.
excited. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We did see each other
How,
everywhere, bro.
how'd you feel going into the tournament?
Felt pretty good. Just wanted to get my offense going, and I felt like I did that pretty well. It's kind of been something we've been focusing on a lot recently.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it felt good. Like I said, my attacks felt great. Counter attacks felt great. I mean, the whole tournament went pretty smooth. No, healthy. That's a big part. Obviously dealing with a bunch of injuries just throughout the years. But yeah, I've been feeling good. Wrestled well. Like I said, just hopefully keep it going. Final X, keep improving.
Do you try to
Sweet.
think too much about winning or losing the tournament going into it? Obviously, you don't think about losing it, but winning the tournament going into it, or just take it one match at a time? Because for me, at least, it's just there's a lot at stake, and it's kind of hard for me to think about, win this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep it like one match, like one point at a time. Like I try to keep it as small as possible. Like I won't even think about the tournament uh, up until usually morning of like weigh-ins. I'll start like actually like processing the tournament. But like before that, like it's one match at a time. So you start thinking about who's you're going to see in the finals or like winning this whole tournament. Like I mean, so many things change by the time you get there. Like people get injured, there's upsets that happen, and so you never know. And just try to take it one match at a time. And if you make it too big of a deal, then I feel like you could crumble under the pressure. Like we've wrestled 100,000 matches, like just so many that just keep it basic.
Yeah, I think you just got to prepare like you're ready to win a tournament. You don't want to be thinking about it the day before or too much like going into the tournament. You don't want to think about who's going to be there, what's at stake and stuff. It seems
Mhm.
like Coach Steiner does a good job of does he game plan and stuff for you guys? He's a pretty incredible wrestling mind.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's awesome. He keeps us super chilled out for the most part. Like he'll text us the week of. He's like, hey, like just think about yourself, like just wrestling yourself, kind of like you're wrestling uh like a faceless person, like that. That's it. Like don't think it's not too big of a deal. And he'll express the same thing, like, hey, you've done this 100 times, like you've done this a million times, like you've wrestled so many tournaments. Just go out there, wrestle like you guys know how to wrestle, and you'll be fine. And so he really emphasizes that, and it just really calms us down. Even in the corner, he does the same thing. He's like, "You look great. Just go back to wrestling how you wrestle. Like wrestle this next period how you wrestle." Like even during the break, he does such a great job calming you down. And like we spend so much time doing technique and game planning throughout our training cycle, 5 6 weeks out. Uh, that I mean, we're prepared. We just got to go out and perform.
Question about your training cycle.
Mhm.
How much of that is like thought process going in? I'm just trying to get better at like things that maybe I feel like I need to improve on, maybe shore up a couple other things. And how much of that is like kind of understanding who's in my field this year? How should I kind of adjust like my style to help give me the best advantage to beat that guy kind of on the circuit that year? How does that
Yeah,
kind of enter
yeah.
your training?
I mean, for the most part, it's going to be focusing on myself because like a lot of these are just tournaments and like nothing's like the final X until you get to the final X. Like this 4 weeks, whatever it's going to be, is going to be on Wyatt. But up until this point, it was a lot of we would have an idea like who's in the tournament, but like it would be just focusing on like what makes us a better wrestler and like how we can score on everybody. Like we're gonna have some days we're gonna focus on how to score on lefties, some days we're gonna focus on how to score on righties, some days we're gonna focus on guys that wrestle from space, guys that wrestle from underhook. So it's just like different things, just like how we wrestle our style out of different styles we're competing against. Especially when you get overseas, there's not like always a ton of film and there's not always like the best, like you just don't really know who's going to be wrestling all the time. So it's hard to like game plan for some of those guys. Like when we're in Croatia, like I don't know half those guys are going to wrestle. I can see a couple matches on them, but like a couple of them down at 97 kilos are going to wrestle different when they're up at 125. So it was just more focusing on ourselves, working on getting our attacks better and just wrestling better in general, trying to like really refine our style.
So to that point, what was something that you really emphasized leaving U.S. Open, going into World Team Trials, that you think maybe helped get you over that edge?
Yeah, it was just I started a lot of my matches. I would get an offensive tax, whatever, score points early in a lot of my matches at the Open, and then kind of just go in like a coast mode until the second period in the Open. And that happened with my Wyatt match. I got 4 right away, and it kind of coasted. He scored 10, and then it was just like I was trying to catch up the entire time. Happened a lot of my matches. Same thing with a quarterfinals with Lance. Scored early, and then nothing happened until the second period. And it was a lot more of focusing on, even if it's not necessarily scoring right away, but creating setups and creating offense early to maybe open it up later. Or if you score earlier, I score earlier. You know, like it's hard to get some of these heavyweights open up. So like a lot of the game planning is going to be wearing them down, and that comes from like creating offense, like whether it's through fakes or just different setups, like wearing on them, and instead of like kind of just sitting there resting and coasting for the middle part of matches. So that was a big focus that like even like I said, even in the corner, Troy was like, "Hey, just your offense is great. Like if you keep up your offense, they're gonna have a hard time scoring on you, and like you aren't getting scored on when you attack. So like there's no risk to it, right?" So it was kind of that was his big emphasis this entire 3 weeks, whatever, 2.5, 3 weeks between the Open and trials.
Do you do you feel like you're a freestyler now, or do you feel like your folk style is just good enough that you can kind of adjust to doing freestyle?
Uh, See, that's hard. I feel like I'm more of a freestyler now, a little bit, but I do miss top wrestling a lot.
Yep.
Like I do love I do love when we do some folk style in the room and I get to ride some of these guys. Uh,
Yes.
I do love it. I mean, just to get to throw legs in. I don't get to do many legs anymore, which kind of sucks. Like a lot of these
Yeah.
heavy, like I get 10 seconds, I get maybe a leg in, but they're already flat, so it's kind of hard to get a turn on them. Like a lot of my turns came from when they would come up to their base and like suck them back. Like that just doesn't happen anymore. So
Thank you, Trent. Thank you.
it
And
has
when
been a
you get
huge.
a leg in on somebody, when you get a leg in on somebody, you just can just lay on them. Like when I practice with these guys and I do folk style, I just figure 4 leg ride them and they
Oh
can't do
yeah,
anything.
it's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
the best feeling in the world.
It's awesome. Yeah. No,
It's just easy.
it makes me miss folk style a lot. I was like, man, I really, really did not take this or I took this for granted when I was in there. You know.
I feel like, yeah, even for me, like my transition from college to senior level, I'm not really a freestyle. I don't do anything on top. And pretty much my only transition, my only adjustment going into freestyle was just I can't get chest wrapped, I can't get head pinched, I can't get crotch lifted. So I just neutralized that, and that's kind of my wrestling style now.
Yeah, I feel like I've always been kind of good at like getting guys' hips like turn, like whatever, like kind of like not scrambly necessarily, but like more than most heavyweights, you know. So like I
Yep.
feel like I can like a lot of like chest wraps, like that's kind of my big thing. Like I can get guys' heads like below my knee, and I get a lot of scores off of that, like little like chest tilts or belly tilts off of that. And so I feel like that's where I've adjusted my style a lot because that obviously means nothing in folk style. And with freestyle, I can like make it really dangerous. Like if you're not getting my hips, I'm scoring on you.
Yeah.
So it makes it like really dangerous for these guys to take shots on me. Like they're gonna try their shots are either gonna have to be like doubles or high crotches, or they're probably not gonna shoot on me. So that kind of like it's helping me out a lot actually. That part of it.
Yeah, and you're good enough with leg attacks that you can now not worry about it getting stalemated with some weird roll or funk. You can get at least your one.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So that's big. That's what I always thought about you was like you're going to be good because your hand fighting's good, but you get to legs. Like not a lot of heavyweights get to legs, and if you can get to legs and get a guy like a push out, that's a
Yeah.
huge advantage in freestyle. But it's not necessarily that much of an advantage in folk style. But
Yeah. A lot of times when you shoot, like even if you run them out of bounds, they're probably not going to call stalling if you're on the leg. So definitely huge advantage for freestyle there off of that for folk style.
yeah, definitely. But there's a lot of talk around like RTC athletes and post grad guys. Um, they kind of like to do their own thing.
Mm.
A lot of RTC coaches preach like letting the guys do their own thing, but it seems like Steiner's a pretty regimented coach. Are you guys more structured, or is it a little bit more on your own there in Minnesota?
Oh, we're pretty structured. Like we'll have
Really?
4 practices a week. Usually it's with the Minnesota guys, but right now there's a 5 p.m. practice for like high school RTC up here. But like we'll go at 9 a.m. So we'll grab our own partners, come at 9 a.m. and it's like a super technique, like one on one. Like it's been me, Dap, Hayden, and some like the other guys that are going like Max McAnally, like these other guys going U23s, U20s. Uh, we'll all come into that practice. So it's like super like focused on us that are competing very soon. Instead of like a huge high school group, there's like 60 kids in the room for high school. I mean, just a mess. But like, there were 9 a.m. or sometimes 10 a.m. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then lifts are completely on our own. I usually lift 3 to 4 times a week. Uh, but yeah, the practices are very very scheduled out for us.
Yeah, I like that for senior level guys. I mean, I think there was a big push. I think for guys who kind of went through a program where it was just running into the ground, it was kind of like a relief to go to senior level and now you can do your own thing. But at any level, I think no matter what, you need structure and you need like technique,
Mm-hmm. Oh, for
which is
sure.
huge. But you ever do any of Coach Steiner's lifts?
I have, I have. Yeah, no, those suck. Those are horrible. What ones have you had? Are you done?
I didn't do it, but I was at the Olympic Training Center one time,
Yeah,
and it was Zilmer and a couple other guys. Dap was there, and Brayton Lee
probably
was
Berglund.
there. Dude, who was it?
Probably Berglund.
Maybe
This might
Berglund.
have
I'm
been the
not
one I
sure.
didn't go. There was one I was hurt that I didn't go out there for.
Oh yeah, yeah. Jake was there. Jake was there. But dude, he just destroyed these guys. And I was watching them do it, and it was just 45 minutes of nonstop action.
Yeah, like you're doing like a bunch of curls with weight, then you're doing burpees, then pull ups, and like curls again, then presses. It's horrible. Yeah, like he kills you.
You're sprinting in between every single exercise.
Yeah, yeah, he gets you working.
It was funny to watch that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but a lot of people talk about development slowing down in your first years of college. What do you think has contributed to your steep development after NCAA? Because I just think that you've obviously developed. I mean, like looking at you now and the guys that you're beating, it's a lot more impressive. I mean, you had an incredible career. I think you had a lot of injuries, but it just looks like you're kind of really taking off now. What do you think that was?
I think it's a little bit of like now I have to be good on my feet. Like being good on top, kind of I could kind of like ride on those coattails a little bit because like I knew I was going to ride a lot of people regardless, so I didn't need to be great on my feet. Like I was going to ride a lot of people, I was going to turn a lot of people, I was going to get out from everybody. So it's like I'm winning 1-0, 2-0 every match going into it, or a lot of matches, and so I feel like I kind of just rode onto that. And like my focus wasn't to be great on my feet; it was to be continue being great on top. And I think so that helps a lot. Is that's now like it's forcing me to actually wrestle instead of just kind of bank on this folk style, just kind of like being good on top. And then just I think I mean I don't want to give any offense to like any of my old partners, but my room is kind of crazy up here with the
Yeah,
heavyweights I have.
yeah.
So it's like I'm wrestling with Gable, Zilmer, Tabor, Hopkey. Like I was wrestling with Salazar a little bit last year. Like these guys are all Americans, world team members, Olympic champs, national champs. Like Brandvold when he does come around, like I'll wrestle with him too. It's like if I have one bad day, like I'm getting whooped. And it's not like there's a couple times I'd have a bad day at Wisconsin, I'd still dominate the practice. And it's like so I wasn't none of my bad habits were being exposed. And now it's like even when I do feel like I wrestle well, my bad habits are being exposed. So it's like that's kind of
Yeah.
really forcing me to just really refine everything down to wrestling my best. And like I said, it's I mean I think that's the biggest advocate for it. And Steiner's like there, like on top of you, like every time you, if it's like a mental lapse or something, like he'll be on top of you for. If it's a technical thing, he'll like be willing to work with you, like as long as you need after practice. So just been a great atmosphere for it.
That's cool. Yeah, you speak really highly of the Gopher RTC. What do you think about? I don't know. I feel like it's almost a little bit of a hierarchy play right now going on with the RTC battle, like Oklahoma RTC, the Nittany Lion RTC. There's always going to be the Gopher RTC. Um, in your estimation, as an athlete for the Gopher RTC, how do you see that playing out in probably the next 5 years or so?
Uh, I'm not sure. I mean, like it's just kind of with like NIL makes everything super interesting, right? Like it's just hard. Like it just because a lot of the money from RTCs are being used for NIL. Uh, I know Minnesota, they're like really emphasizing like keeping RTC athletes. Like they're like the RTC athletes are worth more than the money we're paying some of these kids. And I agree with that. Like if you're having these guys that have won, like you having people around these kids that win that are good people is more important than paying them $100,000. My opinion, like that's how you develop these kids. Like obviously, a lot of times, I mean, I would have a hard time if seeing $100,000 across from me and be like, no, I'm going somewhere else that's not paying me, but they have good partners, you know. But Minnesota, I mean, they're huge on like making sure we're still around and we're having a bunch of RTC athletes. So I know that's a focus here. Places like Oklahoma State and Penn State, like they're always going to have a ton of money, so they're going to be able to dish out NIL and have a ton of athletes too. Uh, but it's interesting to see like some of these other places. Like I like what Askren's doing. Like these, like now he's like an AWA, like making an RTC. He's not affiliated with a college. Like that's like interesting. He's one of was the first one, probably the only one. I don't think any other RTC is not affiliated with a college. So that's gonna be interesting to be more like that. Like maybe like the KD Training Center or like M2. Like obviously that'd be a lot like Oklahoma State, but like you got to start wondering if these other places are going to start following suit. And like the RTCs might start turning into clubs instead of the college RTCs turning into NIL funds. And then these clubs in the States are turning into like the actual RTCs. So you got to wonder, like I said, but Minnesota, like they've emphasized to me that like we're really going to focus on keeping athletes around just because we feel that's more important than just paying these kids. Like having people that have won in college before and just like mentors, like extra coaches. Like I help coach Hopkey and Tabor all the time. Like I'm working with them one on one a bunch. So they're just keeping us around to help coach. I mean, lighten the load on some of these other guys.
Yeah, and I mean, when I look at it, it seems like my two favorite places in the Big Ten right now for development are Nebraska and Minnesota. And I think that it's just they're keeping the guys around who have been with the program and who want to continue to wrestle, and they're kind of like fulfilling that dream for the guys. And I think that's good for younger guys to see too, to see that guys who worked hard, who got better, can still continue to go and accomplish their dreams. And I think there's some programs that are completely, they're leaving that alone. They're not doing that anymore. And I think it's a bad decision. As much as I do think the NIL is great for the sport, and it's good to see kids who were in my position just a few years ago are starting to make hundreds of thousands of dollars for what they're doing. I think that's great, but I do think that there needs to be like emphasis on development as well. Like we can't just bring kids in here and be like, all right, here's $200,000, figure it out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that was also the game plan for a lot of coaches, even when NIL wasn't the thing. Was just, all right, dude, you're an All American, figure it out. So,
Yeah.
but I do think that there is something to be said about we need to continue to develop guys. You can't just throw $200,000 in a kid and expect him to perform without great guys in the room. I mean, that's Oklahoma State's number one thing right now is building the Cowboy RTC. I think that was the number one thing that David Taylor said when he was accepting the job was, I want the biggest RTC in the country. Now they got Roper from UNA. They just got that Army guy. What's the Army coach's name? You guys know? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think they're just going to get as many guys as they can, and I guarantee it's going to pay off. I guarantee it's going to pay off. And they're keeping guys like Hamity. They got Zahid Valencia, Wyatt Hendrickson. Wyatt Hendrickson is, obviously you're going to wrestle him, right?
Mhm.
That's big for their program to keep guys like that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, having guys around like that are huge. Like that's what's going to keep guys around. Like keeping guys. Like I mean, I'm sure like a young guy like Ladarian Lockett. like I'm sure he's going to eventually stay. Like it could be 10 years that he's at Oklahoma State. Like that's going to be huge for just recruiting way down in the future. Like he's seeing there's opportunities here to win, and I think that's like a mindset a lot more places need to have.
It's definitely just kind of like an
Yeah.
alarm system if you do it the right way. I feel like
100%.
Penn State's been doing that for years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that was
Yeah.
the winners in NCAA right now, so it seems like the winning recipe.
Yeah. It's clockwork. But going back to your development, knowing what you know now, just off of, so you've had what, 2 years now, senior level?
Yeah.
What would you go back and change or do differently? What would you tell younger Trent Hillger? Let's say first or second year Trent Hillger.
Uh, I mean, probably it'd be more mindset than anything else. Like wrestling wise, like obviously you're going to develop however you're going to develop technique and practicing. That's gonna develop the wrestling wise, but mentally, like after that first year All American, it was kind of like I was more afraid to lose than I was to win. I was like, I
Yeah, oh,
can't
yeah.
lose this ranking. I can't lose this ranking. I'm gonna upset like all of our fans. Like, I don't know if it's because it's like such a like large like college wrestling's like you have like a large group of loud fans. And it's like when you're a senior level, you're just kind of on your own, Like you obviously have the Team USA fans, and like you don't hear like there's no like club fans, like there's not like a Go for Wrestling Club fan base that comes out to like duels, and so it's like when I was in college, it's like I'm having a bunch of people see me, and if I like have a poor performance, like I'm hearing about it. Like I'm like people are letting me know like that I had a really bad performance. Like I know I had a bad performance. I don't want to hear it from a bunch of random people, and like I really let that
Yep.
affect me. And so it's like kind of like telling myself that the losing doesn't matter. Like this is still like just a sport. The losing doesn't matter, and I feel like that's where I've developed a lot. It's like I'm honored to still be doing this after college. Like to be able to do it at the college level is a blessing. Now them continue to do it after college is even more of a blessing. So it's like I got to enjoy every single second. I mean, I don't know when's going to be my last match ever. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
year by year thing. So it's kind of like I got to enjoy it while I do it. It's been doing this for 20 some years. So I think just having that mindset going into all my matches and going to these tournaments has like really allowed me to like open up and wrestle more free and like wrestle, just have fun wrestling, back to like when we were
Yeah.
kids.
I had a lot of that, of what you're saying, just the anxiety after I was an All-American. How much do you think, I mean, I attribute it to this or that, but how much do you think it gets attributed to like we were kind of, as second years in the room, we were the best two guys in the room.
Hmm.
How much do you think? I mean, because obviously, if me and you were in the Penn State room and you had taken eighth in the NCAA, this was 2019, eighth in the NCAA, fourth in the NCAA, I was third year, you were second year. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, that's not that crazy, right? And I think you still have something to keep shooting for, and to say, all right, well, I want to be the best in the room. I'm obviously not the best in the room right now.
Hmm.
How much do you think that you would attribute that to just like we were the best guys in the room, and it's just a lot of pressure to feel like that way, especially as a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is a lot, like, I mean, you see some of these Penn State guys, they'll transfer in and then never start again. But
Yeah,
like, they'll be like all American somewhere else and transfer in and never start. And it's like, man, like, what are you doing? But like, I talked to a couple of them, their mindset's like, if I make the starting lineup, like, I'm winning a national championship. And it's
yeah,
like, because like they're all that good. Like there's like three deep that could win a national championship at some of those weights. And I think that is like a big part of it. Because like if I took eighth my freshman year, like that's underperforming in the Penn State room. So it's like
yeah,
that would kind of be like I'm trying to catch up to everyone else. And like as being like the guys, like you were saying for us in Wisconsin, like that's a lot of people like now there's a ton of pressure on us to like always be on to like because like not only are the like fans ourselves like whoever like coaches like now these 17-year-olds 18-year-olds are coming into college are expecting like perfection out of us because like we're now their idols and it's like
yep,
man you have one off day like even in the practice room you're like man like you start like negative like talking about yourself and negative thoughts and it is a lot it is a lot of pressure it
yeah. Because
definitely plays a difference.
what was it?
So it definitely plays a difference like if you are like the alpha in a room versus like if you're kind of like if you have a successful career but you're not like the guy like just like the
Yep.
pressure difference is way different.
Yeah, I can feel that when it's like you don't have a good day. And, we had good guys in the room for me, like Kradiger and stuff, but Kradiger would have close matches with me, and I'd be like, what's happening? Because this guy's
Yeah,
just getting thumped every day. But I just think he was someone who maybe wasn't there mentally. It's ironic that a lot of guys they're a lot better than they think, and that kind of can be detrimental in a room because, let's just say, Pete Christensen, for example, I think was a lot better than he showed when he competed sometimes. But and then you're getting his best.
yeah.
You're wrestling the best Pete Christensen there is, and it's like, well, Gabe will tech this guy. Like,
I mean, there was
I'm
a
not gonna
lot of
tech this
days.
guy.
There was a lot of days he beat me, especially like that. I think it was fourth year, fifth year. There's a lot of days in the room he beat me, and I was like, man, like I was like, what's going on? Like I felt like I was just having bad days. Like I mean, he is a lot better than like some of his performances out in the competition, man. Like I mean, I fully believe like if he was able to transition it to the mat, he could have been All American threat. Like just wrestling him in the room. Like it's like I know I'm not wrestling poorly every single day. Like you're giving me fits, a lot of fits, and it's like
Mm,
you're big, you're hard to score on, like you're strong, it is a lot of pretty damaging. Like you're saying that like sometimes like you are getting their
yes.
and it's like you see them perform sometimes like man like am I messing up like you just don't know you start second guessing yourself.
Yeah, you're like, dude, why can't you do it? Why can't you wrestle like that? But
Yeah, yeah.
it's frustrating, man. Did you actually get people who would like message you after you lost and like
Oh
hate
yeah.
on you?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I get some DMs and stuff.
Wow, I never got any. I mean, I
That's
had
kind
some
of
bad
shocking.
loses. It's shocking to
But,
me that you got them. I didn't think,
Trent was
Wisconsin
scoring,
people are
dude.
nice.
I thought that was normal. You just get hate messages after you lose.
No, I would just get,
Trent,
hmm,
what would you get, Evan?
I would just get like random people hitting me up on Instagram, but like nobody. I remember the pressure that I felt a lot was people would hype up my matches and be like,
Mm.
Wick's gonna kill this guy. Wick's gonna kill this guy, and then I'm wrestling Vincenzo Joseph and I get majored, and I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing.
So he's pretty good.
Trent,
He's pretty good.
He was all right. Yeah. And everyone's like, you're going to kill him. And then I invited my girlfriend to watch that match. First wrestling match she ever watched. First week she knew me. And I got majored in front of her and 30 of her friends.
Oh man,
It's
shocked.
embarrassing.
She's still yeah.
Exactly. That's why I stayed with her.
Trent, so what about wrestling on the senior level would you say your favorite part? Is it the traveling? Is it the training with the high level guys? Is it like maybe the unique schedule?
My favorite part, man. The travel's hard to beat. Uh,
Really? I
probably
hate the travel, bro.
well, just like I like seeing new places. Like when you're there for like a week, it's like okay, like it's a lot harder because you're there to wrestle. You know, if I was there to like vacation a little bit, like
Yeah.
that'd be nice. Like seeing Croatia was cool. I've never been to Croatia. Like seeing Nice, France was cool. I've never been to France. Like same thing with Turkey. Like, but after like a week and you're just wrestling the entire time there, like all right, like I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
Uh, but the schedule is probably the best part. 'Cause, like I mean, like you were saying earlier, like I dealt with a lot of like injury issues when I was in college. So like now that I compete basically once every 3 months, it really allows my body to just like really fully heal by the time I get to my next competition. Like each competition's like I'm 100% like fresh. I'm like gearing for each competition, like priming for each competition, and like that's probably the nicest part because it gives my body a break, gives me a mental break. Probably the best part about it, uh, and just gives like a little freedom, you know.
Right.
I think too, it's kind of cool being seen as coach too. You have more value than just athlete and win. Like there's guys who are doing private lessons with you and guys who are asking you for help, and you're seeing that the coaches are putting a lot of time into the NCAA side of it and stuff, and it's a lot less pressure to have. Um, when you're a senior level athlete, you're coach and athlete, which I think is cool.
Yeah, that's super nice.
Yeah, but you talked about injuries. You were injured a ton in college, I remember, but it seemed like you always kind of wrestled through it. Like I
Yeah,
don't remember you taking too much time off. I think I remember you slipped on some ice and broke your ankle the one
you didn't
time.
have to close it like that. Come on, man. You could have said I had a broken ankle, you know.
Dude, that was I was
I
telling
was
someone
there for
that the other
that.
day.
I was right. I was
Uh,
standing right there with you. I tried to catch you.
yeah, yeah. It was with a we're a big group too. It was like me, you, Garrett, like Nader Q, like there's a because we're about to go state tournament. We were on our way to the Wisconsin State tournament.
Yeah, right after practice.
Yeah, day before
Wow.
last season.
I told someone about that the other day, and they were like, "No way." And I was like,
Exposed.
"Yeah, he slipped
Yeah,
on ice. He
dude,
slipped on
I
ice and
can't
broke his
believe
ankle."
it. Could have, and it blew up. The
Evan's been
ankle was
telling everyone.
huge. Like,
Did you tell Bono that that's what happened?
uh, I don't know if I told him. He does know that's what happened, but I don't think I told him. I think Garrett told him because Garrett was the one like that went to see Gary at the training room, and Gary like called Bono, was like, "Hey, Trent's hurt," and then Garrett like I think he saw Garrett earlier, like, "What the hell happened?" And it's like he slipped on ice. So he does know what happened. I don't think I told him. I would have never told him that I slipped on ice. This was like I got in a fight with like 10 frat kids or something. That would have been my
Dude, and I somehow didn't know going into the duel. And I remember we're warming up. We're warming up for the SIUE duel, and this was their first year there, and this was after, a lot of guys had quit and stuff, just because it's like new coaching staff and stuff.
yeah
And there's 9 guys total, because everyone's either quit, transferred, hurt, or not wrestling at all, right? And
yeah
I was like, there's 9 guys warming up right now, and Trent, and then you weren't there, and so Bono brings it in and is like, we don't got our heavyweight. We're probably, we're gonna lose 6 points there or something. And Slummy might have been right there while he was saying who's gonna fill in for you. And and I just remember I was like, dude, how are we gonna win this duel? And it's SIUE, and we ended up winning it. We ended up crushing it, I think.
yeah. I think we only lost like 2 matches, something
Yeah,
like that.
but you,
I think we whooped them.
yeah, but how do you? It seemed like you pushed through a lot of your injuries. I mean, what is your mindset? You have something like your senior, you have your broken ankle your freshman year. I know at least that your senior year you had a torn ACL, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, what's your mindset going into that? I mean, do you think you just have a higher threshold or tolerance for pain or better understanding of your body and knowing if you're going to get injured?
I don't really know actually. Like I just know something bothers me, and I just try to avoid it until I'm done competing. I don't think that's a healthy way of doing it, but that's kind of like was my philosophy. Like I know there's a bunch of times like my shoulders were killing me, and I was talking to Gary, and he's like, "Well, we can get an MRI if you want." It's like, well, I don't really want to know. It's like if I know I have a torn labrum, like I'm going to be like trying to protect it the entire time when I wrestle. Like I'd rather just not know. It was the same with my ankle. Like I didn't get an X-ray on it for like 2 years because Gary would kept telling me it was a sprain, and I'm like, okay, it's a sprain. Like I can wrestle through a sprain. Like a ton of people do stuff through sprains, and I got checked, and it was like torn and broken, and lost Pat.
Uh-oh.
Uh, just us two. But yeah, it was like torn, broken, and like a bunch of other things. And same thing with like my knee. It's like my knee was bothering me, and it's like I didn't really want to like say anything. So it's kind of like I guess I just like was avoiding it, and then so I was just kind of like telling myself that I was fine. And I mean, kind of going back to you think a lot of guys are better than what they perform. I mean, your mentality can carry you so much further than you think it can. Like your body can be pushed so much farther than it can. I mean, like Spencer Lee won a national title on 2 torn ACLs. Like, I mean, like it can be done. Like, obviously, it's very hard, but like I don't necessarily think I have a special like threshold of pain or anything like that. I just think that I was like avoiding it, kind of telling myself I was all right. Like I can make this. Like I can do it. Like I've wrestled so many times. Kind of back to the original. Like I've wrestled so many matches. Like just keep up the same mentality, same process, and I'll be fine. Like I said, it seemed to work a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's I have a lot of guys and I've seen a lot of people in tournaments, wrestlers in tournaments just, oh, I don't know. I don't know, it doesn't feel right. I think I'm gonna sit this one out. Which was something that I never really told myself, especially if I'm deep in a tournament. It's like I'm gonna finish this out. I'm gonna scrap with whoever I'm gonna scrap with. But maybe I've never had that in between hurt slash injury.
Mhm.
Um, but I feel like whenever I get into a match, I feel like I can scrap pretty well, and I have a good knowledge of like, is this very serious? Like I dislocated my shoulder. Like, oh yeah, no question, I'm done. This ain't gonna
Yeah,
happen. Right, I broke my ankle before. Hey, I can't put my foot on the mat, and I
yeah,
mean, I can't even put my foot. I can't even put weight on my foot on the mat. This ain't
yeah,
happening. It's not going to
Yeah.
happen, right? But I've had those things where, my knee is swollen and it's kind of hard to bend this way or hard to bend that way. But once you get kind of into the heat of the moment, it's I feel like the adrenaline kicks in, and it's actually really hard to injure yourself. I know that sounds bad,
Yeah.
but to me, at least that's my mindset for myself. Is like it's really hard to injure yourself, especially if you're cognizant going into a match. All right, my knee hurts. Nothing stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Like, we are very good at what we do. Like, we're not going
Yeah,
to put ourselves in situations to get ourselves hurt. Like, most of the time, when you get hurt, it's usually like something crazy happens, like a fluke situation, position. Like, especially where we're at now, like maybe like that cross knee where you kind of like someone sits up into you. Like, those are like the few positions like you get hurt in. I feel like now
yep,
that where we're at, maybe it's something that played a factor into it. Like you said, we had like 10 guys my freshman year. It's like, so if I was hurt, like we weren't winning the duel a lot of the times because we're giving up six or like I don't know. I don't remember if Slummy was available the entire year or not. But it's like if I'm out, like we're losing a duel. So it's like if I have something I know I can like muscle through, then I'm gonna muscle through it. Like that was more for for the team side of it. Like I didn't want to, because I mean it sucks to lose as a team. Like I know it's a very individual sport, but like when we would get whooped by Penn State, you're like, man, like it's Penn State, but like, come on, like that sucks. Like the ride home sucks. Like everything sucks about it. Like it's just silent in the room. Even if you won personally, you're like, it sucks. So it's like
yeah, big time.
it was very like team focused too. I think so that kind of carried the rest of my career. It's like, well, if I can wrestle through it, whether it hurts or not, I'm gonna do it. So I
Yeah,
think that kind of helped a little bit.
and we had like it seemed like probably 5 to 8 duels that we had in my time at Wisconsin that came down to you. So that
Yeah.
was probably a few of them where you're hurt and you put the team on your back and you win it for us. You know what I mean? And two, it's different when maybe if you're a middle of the pack guy and you could put a backup in, but you were one of the hammers on the team. You
Yeah.
were top two, top three on the team for sure. So it was
Mm,
like this is going to be a huge swing if we don't have you. You know,
yeah.
um,
So,
Pat,
hey,
how's it feel to
real
be
quick
back?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Welcome
back.
back.
I don't know what happened there, but I'm back, baby. Uh, Trent, when you're working with those guys like Tabor or Hopkey, what is maybe something that you feel like is something you try to relate to them that maybe you learned and was like, man, I wish I knew this sooner.
My biggest thing is like you need to find your attack or your setup, and like you need to get there all the time, whatever it is. Like however it is, like you can have multiple setups, multiple attacks, whatever. But everyone has their go-to, like their go-to position on their feet, go-to setup, go-to shot, whatever. And I try to emphasize to that like, hey, like you need to get there all the time. Like that needs to be your emphasis. Like I want to wrestle from space and like have a lot of fakes, a lot of movement. So I'm gonna make sure like if a guy's tying me up, I'm gonna try getting out of that ties as quick as possible. Like Tabor, for example, I'll use him. Like he's great in underhook, and it's like when you wrestle in a match and you're not getting an underhook the entire match, like that's a you problem. Like you should be digging underhooks the entire match. Like you have a great single out of an underhook, like great knee pick. Like your offense comes out of an underhook. It's like you need to make sure you get to an underhook all the time. Like that should be your focus. And it's like with like more like the hand like wrestling, hand fighting, like creating pressure is another thing. Like that's just kind of more universal. But I really emphasize like everyone knows their positions are good at, or most people know their positions are good at. Like you need to make an emphasis of getting there all the time. And so that's been something like I've been working on. Like Troy kind of emphasized to me, so I'm kind of like passing it down to them too. Like, hey, this works. So like really make that a focus in every one of your matches, every practice, even like when we do our free drill or drill like as a warm up, like do use an underhook to get to a bunch of your attacks. Like don't just take a bunch of shots just to take shots because that's like normal. Like I'm not going to start shooting firemen's or like lefty singles or lefty high crotches because I just want to get warmed up and just having fun doing a free drill. But I'm going to like be wrestling like how I would wrestle a match in my free drill, just kind of practicing like a couple fakes before I shoot. So that's been something I've been really emphasizing with those guys.
Yeah, a lot of at least with the guys that I have is like sometimes I'll see him and I'm like, this guy got you in a 2-on-1 for like 3 minutes in the match. Like, what are you doing in a 2-on-1? Like, don't be there.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it as a coach, but it's like guys getting underhooked. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you letting a guy underhook you? And then it's not letting a guy underhook you, but it's like, why are you resting in an underhook? Like,
Yeah.
get out of
Make it
there.
a fight to get out of there, you know?
Yes, get to your ties, get to your positions. You know,
Yeah.
it was a big one for me. My in between my first and second year was like learning how hard I really needed to wrestle in order to compete with really good guys
Mhm.
at in college. Because I think when I was in high school, it was like a lot of flow, and you know what, I kind of wrestled at a pace where I could wrestle that way for 25 minutes if I needed to. And then when I got into college, it was like, all right, I'm going to wrestle at a pace where it's like I'm going to spend myself in those 7 minutes. Did you
Mhm.
have anything like that? Any kind of realization when you got to college, like, oh yeah, I got to wrestle way harder than I'm used to wrestling?
I mean, that's basically the exact same, right? I mean, mine was the hand fighting, like in particular. I don't know if that was like you in particular too, but like everyone does fight every single shot, every single
Yep.
turn. Like everyone tries on bottom, everyone tries on top, everyone fights every single position. Like there's gonna be guys like on their back, like cross ankle, and like they're fighting through it, like coming up through. Like a lot of guys in high school just bail. If
Yeah,
you get
there's
to
no
Yep.
concession point.
yeah, like if you get a single leg and get their leg in the air, like especially a heavyweight, most of them are just gonna fall over in high school. I mean, heavyweight, some of these guys are doing full splits in the air, and like I've never had to deal with that in my life, and it's like that's
Yeah.
a big adjustment. Like I'm carrying a 150-pound leg on my shoulder, and it's like, man, like how am I going to finish this? But it's like that's something I had to adjust to. I think the hand fight, like everyone's just bigger, stronger, tries harder. Like everyone like actually cares. Like that was like the big thing that like I seen like everyone actually cared about wrestling. So everyone tried in every position constantly. And like high school,
Yeah.
like you see a lot of guys like I know heavyweight's a little different too. Like a lot of them are football players that are like their coaches told them to come out for wrestling. So you get like a very thin at heavyweight. Like the top's elite, but like every it gets really bad really quick at high school.
Right.
So like some of these guys, it's like I mean, I got a 3 second pin my senior year. Like
Oh my God.
that should never happen. It's supposed to take 3 seconds to call a pin in high school. So it's like, uh, so yeah, it's like that was just a
What
big
move did you hit?
I just double legged them, and I like we had a game plan to like cut them. Like I was like me and my coach were like, okay, I need to get 3 takedowns every match until like I hit the finals, and I could just pin them as fast as I wanted. And
Yeah.
like I it was my first match, I like double leg him, like spear, like head right in the middle of his chest. He falls flat on his back. I like put my hands like to cut him on his shoulder blades. He calls a pin right away. Like so, I'm like pushing off of him
Wow.
to like cut him, and they called the pin. Like as soon, I mean, he was flat, but like I
You're
couldn't
gonna
believe
push
it.
up on him.
I like looked over at my coach, and he's like, I have no idea. Like,
Dude,
it
props to the
was,
ref
yeah, he was on top of it.
on top of it, man. Because I would say you made like 6 seconds usually is the best it gets because refs are usually not ready. Blow the whistle. They ain't getting down there to check it out. They're gonna look up here and start swiping. That dude must have been on it.
You know what
Yeah,
I hate? I'm gonna go on a little rant here. Refs who just think that they can call near fall or like exposure from their feet and just be like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I hate
Yeah,
those guys.
I
they don't.
agree.
They don't get the build.
It's
They
like
don't get the build.
it's the most minimal amount of effort, dude. Take a knee. Take a
Yeah,
knee.
get
Just get
down
a
to
little
the knee
better
and look a
angle.
little bit. Yeah, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, straight up and down. They're just like just counting off, and it's like, man, I agree with you, Pat.
I
Dude,
can't
I've had
stand.
some that won't even like bend over to check. It'll be like this, just no, nothing. I'm like,
Nothing. I
really,
didn't see it,
dude? Yeah. Like, come on, get down there. You don't get that in college, but that's definitely now that you're a youth coach, probably a big deal.
dude. In
I'm
college,
just
if you're a
waiting for
bad,
the pin when they just start like instead of just like getting out of the mat to slap the mat for a pin, they're just gonna like just blow it and just go.
Just do this.
Yeah, just gonna yeah.
Could
dude,
you imagine?
I heard about this guy slapping his foot on the mat. Like he's here,
Oh no shot.
he just blows the whistle. He's like,
No, that's tough. That's
dude's
tough.
pinned.
Oh, that's so
Slaps the
bad.
foot on the mat.
That's
That's
so bad.
tough. No, dude, that's tough.
Wait, was that aura? Is
The
that aura?
ref's just like, listen, I run this thing.
I run this thing. All right, Trent. My last question for you. What are your top three wrestling moments? What are the top three wrestling moments of the Trent Hillger story I have written down here for you?
Oh man.
Bowling at Visit with Xander and Evan.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
let's keep it real wrestling. Let's keep it real wrestling.
Hey, guest
No,
appearance by. Come on, don't forget.
yeah, I did get guest appearance by Pat. So just keeping it wrestling. First All American was definitely one of them. I mean, that was something that like obviously I want to be a national champ, but like you're kind of like you didn't know, especially as a freshman. It's kind of like I'm like 18 years old, and it's like all American, whatever, this big thing, this huge thing, and like I did it. And like I said, I had no
Yep.
expectations coming in the year, and like unranked, like whatever, like kind of like an under the radar type of name coming out of high school. Uh, and I did it. Like I mean, like I said, I wasn't even fully expecting it my freshman year. So that one was up there. I mean, shoot, this past weekend is another one. It's one step closer to a goal of
Sweet.
mine. I
Yeah.
mean, like my goal is to be a world champion. This is one way to do it, and like obviously, like get a ton of publicity from it. Like that part doesn't really matter, but it's like a lot of fun, like seeing like just the hype around the event. You know, this kind of reminds me like I wrestled Gable back and beat the streets like during the COVID year, and like there's a ton of hype around the event, like just a super big atmosphere. Like we're like wrestling on the river, like you see New York City skyline in the back, like just like
Yep.
like we're gonna be at Prudential Center now for Final X, like massive arena. Like it's just gonna be a lot of fun. You know, it's like this is why you wrestle. This is like for these moments, right? Uh,
Dude, you're at the pinnacle right now. Let's go.
yeah, yeah. So this last weekend, probably up there. Trying to think. I mean, we can kind of wrap all the All Americans into one kind of. I don't want to keep saying another All American. Like, I guess we'll go more basic. This is kind of like the been basic answer my entire career, but like that Orendorff match, like that was like a pretty hype moment of my life. Like, I wouldn't say that's like my favorite match, but like the moment, like just everything encapsulating with like the fan, like I created my Thor nickname, like all of it, like his comeback, we won the duel, like I was on my back earlier in the match, like the entire
That
like
was the Thor moment.
that was the Thor
Yeah.
moment. Like that wasn't like my favorite match. I mean, I got thrown a minute into the match, so like, but like the entire like atmosphere,
I
like all
remember
the
that
hype that
match.
came up, like after it, whatever. Like I would say that's probably also one of my favorite moments, just because like the place erupted, like it won the duel, it won like my personal match, and like it kind of like slingshotted me my freshman year, like up through the ranks. It kind of just gave me a lot of momentum going into, I mean, eventually All American that year. Like I said, I'll put all the All Americans in one. That first one and the last one were definitely a little different. The middle couple were like, whatever. But the last one, like just dealing with injuries and all that, like wrestling through that and All Americaning, and then the freshman year one, I like not really expecting it. You know, those were two. Like, so I'll lump those two together, but those were also.
It's mostly just a relief after your first one. And
Mhm.
your last one's sweet, but it's mostly just a relief after your first one that you all American.
Yeah, no, it's like that second, like that next round, like you just can't even process it 'cause it goes so fast. I said, were you blood round that freshman year? I
Yeah,
remember
blood
we
round.
made
Pin
semis.
Wanzek. Yeah,
Yeah,
pin
okay.
Wanzek.
Yeah, and it's like you wrestle so quickly again that next round. Like you don't even like have time to process what you just did. Like I remember I
Yep.
walked off the mat beating Elam, and like I'm walking around. We're in Pittsburgh. I'm walking around. I get back to our station, or like Bono's like, "Hey, you're in the hole," and I'm like, "Who am I wrestling?" He's like, "Amar Desi," and I'm like, "Oh boy!" And like, we got to walk all the way back. I've never like I just knew he wrestled for Oregon State. Like I had no idea who he was. Like no idea how he wrestled. Apparently, he was a cradler because he ended up cradling me. So. Uh, but yeah, it's like it is like a weird relief. It's just like a weird like okay, like I reached my goal here. Like now it's like you have to like obviously you're trying to take third now and work all the way back, but it is a weird like weight off your shoulders after you All American.
Huge. I remember wrestling that match after that. I wrestled John J. Chavez, and I was like, "All right, let's see how it goes. I'm an All American. I don't care if I lose
Yeah,
three
no,
in a
like
row here."
literally, you're like I don't really care what goes on. Like
Yeah.
that third day morning of wrestling is like you just see all these like elite level wrestlers just not care. So they're doing
Yes.
some of the craziest matches you'll ever see like during that session. Like I was like the finals, obviously those are the best two guys at that tournament for that weekend. But like some of the best matches I've ever seen were that third day morning. Just because like it's all these really great wrestlers just don't care anymore and just like letting it all go. It's awesome.
I didn't even show up for the Parade of Champions. I was
Oh
like, forget
man,
about it, dude.
was
It
there any
was
race
funny,
you
but
forgot
you know,
about?
what was a lot of was even more. Yeah, I mean, I like to say I was like partying and having the craziest time of my life, but I was just hanging out with my family at their Airbnb
Oh,
in
okay,
Cleveland.
okay. I didn't
Very
go to.
anticlimactic. No, you were a freshman, but
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
the hard thing for me was though was like I remember and I don't know if like Ritter and them were trying to put pressure on me, but they were like, "This is Barry's last year, and he's had an All-American every year for like 20 years," and I'm like, "Damn, dude, I gotta win this match. I really gotta win this match. This is his last match of his career." And dude, and then I ended up winning like 4 in a row, and I beat Chance Marceau. I should not have beat Chance Marceau, dude. I mean, it was something was in the air for Barry Davis that weekend, for
Yeah.
sure. Like
Oh yeah.
something needed me to win for Barry Davis. It was all for Barry Davis.
That was
Especially
a cool moment at the end of the tournament, though, that he
it
got to
was.
have.
It was.
Yeah,
That's
It was
probably
sweet.
one of my favorite like college moments still, like to this day.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this is awesome. Like I love
it
Barry.
was pretty.
Like it was cool. Like it was your first All American. You go on the super long run on the backside. Like Barry's retiring. Like he was the guy that recruited me really hard, but he's like a legend in the sport. Like I mean, it was a pretty sweet moment.
Dude, now he comes back to Navy and ruins it.
Yeah. Now it doesn't matter for you anymore. No, not cool anymore. Just kidding. Actually hated that moment.
Yeah, you know what? It was the coolest moment ever, but now it's just nothing. But yeah, all right, Trent, you gotta blow up your social media after this, dude. Let everyone know you're what are you on Instagram? You got Twitter? What's the deal?
Instagram, Twitter, all of it. Yeah, but I got to get sent that stuff. Do you got that stuff sent to you? The Final X graphics and things. I mean, I guess you won the Open, so like you probably had it, right?
Yeah, so you got the big little it looks like a big like credit card thing. What is it?
The
It's
ticket.
a ticket. Ticket,
Yeah.
The big little credit card, Trent. You got it.
It's a big little thing, you know. A little small
Yeah,
big
yeah, I
thing.
got that. But I know they're like supposed to send us like some graphics or something to post.
Yeah, so did you then have like some sort of like camera
It's
area
some-
where they were like videoing you and
yeah,
taking pictures?
yeah.
Yeah, so you'll get that. I just posted the one thing. I don't know if you saw, but that's like what you'll get in your package.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you promote it enough, you'll get like you'll be able to get tickets for yourself at or for your family at Final X.
Okay.
Hey, are we the only podcast out here with 2 Final X athletes?
We have to be
I think
we
so.
have to be the
I mean,
Think about that. That's pretty cool, guys.
2 current Final X athletes. Hey!
Hey!
Wow, it's perfect.
Let's end
I
on
don't know
that,
what I
dude.
did.
Let's party
Let's
our
end on
way
that.
out.
Let's
All
go.
right, guys,
That's
I'm
it.
Evan Wick. I'm Evan Wick.
Patrick Spray.
And this is episode 14 of Washed Up.